pretty small from this now. They're going into the cattails. It was very interesting. It looked like turtles swimming and bobbing up and down. They're very short, so they must be 4 babies. Don't know if they'll come back out of there. Oh well, I'll tell you if they do. So hello. Well, that was fascinating to see the otters. I didn't have time to change the name on the video. But they started out over here and went over there by the time the video was turned on. It's really neat, like 4 little black turtle heads, turtle bodies. But they kept going under, and they had little tails that would flip up, and the little body, you would see the body as they would go in. They don't just go down, they go up and down. So I wonder where they've gone to play now. Maybe they'll come back out and you can see them. Maybe they'll come back out and I can see them. So how are you doing today? Is everybody having a nice day? It's 27 degrees Celsius here. It's quite hot in the sun. My legs are in the sun and the rest of me is under this nice swing canopy, which is just lovely. So today we went to the Peterborough ward to church. We've never been to that ward before. That was interesting. I knew a few people from the temple. And I inquired again about our name tags that we were supposed to have in April. But the person that was in charge of the facilities manager is moving, and so they had to wait until there's a new one called, and I think they're not being called till next week. And those name tags are probably sitting on that desk in the locked office. Anyway, these little tiny bees are trying to bite me. I found some willow. I found some willow along the road growing in the ditch, which is free game, so I cut some of it. I have to finish my basket I've been making. I had a frame I started a couple years ago, and I brought it along when we came, and I brought along a handful of dried willow, and I soaked it in the pond. It has to soak a day per foot length of the willow. And then I used it up making the basket, but I didn't have enough to cover the handle and to fill it in. I got about this much. It's a ribbed basket, you know, an egg basket or a melon basket. Hey, you know what I learned today? There's a shamrock festival going on in Ridge North, is it? Something like that. Anyway, so this shamrock festival, I started thinking a shamrock has 3 leaves. I mean, it doesn't look like a clover. And so I found out that a shamrock is Trifolium repens. It's just like reopens without the O, repens. And that's also the name of white clover, Trifolium repens. So a shamrock is white clover. Therefore, yesterday when I was cutting grass, I was cutting a field of shamrocks. Oh, I see a duck over there. Come on, turn around. Oh dear, when it won't turn around, that usually means it's gone black. I turned around and turned around again. All right, so this duck that was over there is pretty far away and I don't see him anywhere. Oh yes, I see something over there. Something far in the distance. And we have these 12-spotted skimmers. I think they're 12-spotted skimmers. They have white and black on their wings. 12 spots. I believe that's what they are. They're like darners. They're very big. They keep flying around over here. There goes one. 3. Let's see if we see those otters again. So the youth came and they worked on this. This is the beaver dam. And you can now walk all the way along the beaver dam, through the woods and back out, and there's a bridge there, and you can now connect and walk all the way back around and across those 2 bridges at the other end. Isn't that fabulous? Well, I think it's fabulous. It's a nice path. Let's see if I see anything moving out there. Not at the moment. So I've been sitting here writing in my journal, realizing that I've used up my notebook. I've only got a small amount of paper left, and I don't have any more notebooks here. But you know what else I realized? There was one of the youth here the other day. The young men's from, I don't know, Barrie, Toronto, and Barrie, Toronto, and I don't know. I think there was a third stake. I don't remember which one it was. Anyway, so one of these youth, he must have been 14 to come. Maybe he was 12. Yeah, maybe 12. I don't know. And he looked over at me with my notebook, and he said, "Wow, you can write cursive." Did he call it cursive? Or script? No, I think he might have called it cursive. Anyway, you're really good at writing cursive. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's gone on? What's happening? Our kids are illiterate. They can't write. They can't read cursive. I have dozens of cursive journals. They're not going to be able to read it. My grandchildren are not going to be able to read my journals. What about when they do genealogy and all the records are in cursive? And it takes so long to write, to print. Well, you know, that's so short-sighted, because computers, as awesome as they are, this is the planet. This is a planet of nature, and everything is grow and die, including the whole computer system. You know, you need one EMC. Is that what it's called? Electromagnetic pulse, EMP. One person to set off a nuclear bomb, and that's the end of the computers. You know, all the cars will stop, all the phones will stop, all the banks, the teller machines, everything will stop. And you know, we're on the brink of war, and I just don't think that it's very smart. We imagine that because the walls came down in Germany and the USSR, that everything is going to be lovely, but it isn't, because Putin wants to take over a lot of area. He wants to reinvent the USSR. However, he has cancer and might be quite short-lived, but who knows what his successors will want. And Russia happens to be right up at the top of the Arctic, and we are right on the other side in Canada. And you know, long-range missiles, all the stuff we send to Ukraine, if Russia wins, they get all that stuff. Anyway, I think that it's very short-sighted to keep everything on computers. I think that we need a printout. And if you think it's not going to last, then take a glass jar and put it inside and bury it. And then it will last. These time capsules, if they have script on them, people aren't going to be able to read it. They're going to have to treat it like a code and decipher it. What does this mean? It'll be the loss of a lot of heritage. You know, all those old things are all written, all the journals of our ancestors, they're all written in cursive. But the kids are living in a throwaway world. The phone breaks, you get a new one. Car breaks, you get a new one. Nobody's got horses. Horses are pretty important, but I don't have a horse either. What kind of animal is making that buzzing sound, you think? Is that a frog? It's possible. Let's look at the pond again. I did bring my kayak back. I was over there on the other side that day. Said I would make a new video when I got my kayak, when I was kayaking, but I couldn't because my phone died. Oh, I see a bit of movement of the water. Could be wind. The weekends, you hear a lot of noise on the water. And it makes a lot of weeds come in because they make such a huge wake. And all those weeds come piling in. So I had a wonderful time with the young men's camp. That was really lovely. There was a woman there. She came down from Sudbury. She was cooking and other things, and it was so nice to talk to her. She's also a multi-potentialite like myself. She's got her finger in every pie, which is fun. You know, sometimes you don't want to just do one thing all the time. It's quite boring. I mean, it's one step up from factory work. Assembly line work is having a career, one career. I would rather have 100 careers and do a little bit on each one when I feel like it. Because you can't regulate your inspiration, you know. Sometimes you're inspired to do this, but then you see something else and whoa, that triggers a whole lot of things happening in your head. And Albert Einstein said, I am a factory, meaning I come up with ideas. I am a factory, not a warehouse. I don't store memory. That's what happens when you get old and you don't have any memories. Just, you can say that. That's Albert Einstein's. I am a factory, not a warehouse. Oh look, one person is here and with a thumbs up. Hello, did anybody? Oh, it's Suze. Hi, Suze. You totally agree. Yes, it's very important that we teach the children cursive writing. What is so important that they're learning in school that they can't learn to write in grade 3 or grade 2? That's tragic. And of course, when kids come home from school, they're burnt out and they don't want you to teach them anything. So try teaching all these kids cursive writing. Maybe we should put up those teacher posters in our houses with the cursive alphabet on it. I was so surprised that this 14-year-old or 12-year-old did not know how. He said he's trying to learn it, but he can't remember the shapes. That is just blew me away. It's like, what country are we in? Canada has one of the highest education systems in the world. It's like 2 or 3. It's right up there. Maybe it's not 3. Maybe it's 4. I don't know, but it's way up there. But now, without cursive writing, and do they teach them arithmetic? Do they still teach them to memorize their addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, or do they just give them calculators? You know, like you play bingo or I'm not bingo, dominoes. Oh look, this is a white-fronted corporal. It's so sad. Grandparents need to teach the cursive. Yeah, they do. I suppose it's like the whole language thing. They got rid of phonics at one point, and they came in with this whole language thing where you would recognize the shape of a word, and that's how you knew what words were, by recognizing the shape. You know, the B at the beginning, B-E-T-W-E-E-N, so you've got these two things that go up, and otherwise it's straight. That was their idea of teaching how to read. It was such a weird idea. But, you know, the generations change. Each generation will think of something, some new idea, and leave the old idea behind. But some of them go back and get the old ideas. Like, I think phonics might be back in the schools again. I don't know. I taught my kids how to read and write. It was important. I made them write a sentence for each grade they were in. when they were little. Every day they had to write in their journal. And math is important. Math. I do a lot of venting on here, don't I? Is that a good idea, to vent? Keeping my eyes out for those otters. I was so thrilled about this pathway they built. I'm really pleased that they did that. There's this thing called the Youth Service Corps. And Service Corps means they do service. They find ways to do service. They go clean up. They do projects where they clean up, like in a town, the community center area. Or they come here to the camp and they build trails. My 7-year-old granddaughter sounds out words. Phonics is back. Thank heavens. It's very important. I have always, you know, have you ever had a computer die? Have ever lost everything that was on your hard drive? Of course, now I was very suspicious when Microsoft came out with having your password and your name, and they wanted your email address and all this personal stuff. And I was thinking, this is really, I don't want all my stuff out there. But in the end, I did do it. But now it's good because when you get a new computer, you've automatically got all your old stuff, except your photos and things. But you know, my mother had boxes and boxes of photos, and I've got those photos now. I think it's important to hold on to these things. I mean, you can lose them in a fire, but, you know, or if you drop them in the lake. But if you have everything on your phone and you drop your phone in the lake, you know, you're not going to take all your photos with you and drop them in the lake, but you can drop the phone in. Somebody dropped their phone in the lake the other day, and all these people were snorkeling to find it. They think that it fell in between the cracks when they were on the dock. And then they wanted me to phone it. I would think if you turn it on, it will wreck it. Anyway, I phoned it and nothing happened. But then there was also this outage. I don't know how big the outage was. I think it was Rogers, which is an Ottawa-based company. But the cell service was out for a day. I guess I had cell service, but I'm not with Rogers. I've got Kudo, which is a part of TELUS, I guess. Oh well. But those are just first world problems, you know? We don't really have any big problems. We have all kinds of problems. We do have problems. But we have to keep it all relative, right? It's nice to sit here and listen to the wind blow. See how the top of these cattails, they all disintegrated? The bottom is getting big. That is because the top had the pollen, which pollinated the bottom. Luckily, I ate one when it was green. I wanted to go kayaking, but I think it's too hot. I think I'm going to go back to my RV, and I got some willow, and I think I'm going to strip the leaves off of it and cut it into straight pieces, and then I'll be able to finish my basket. You haven't seen my basket. I can't make videos when there's campers here. That's like privacy thing issues. So I haven't been doing that. It was interesting, there were 60 campers here and the camp was so busy. There were people everywhere at all times of day and night. I'm used to this place being empty. Just the four of us, just me and Willem when we're alone, and just the four of us when we're together with the other couple that's gone home for the weekend now. But now we have another couple. She's the lifeguard, so they are here all the time. Well, he's not going to stay, but she will. She's in the RV beside us. And how nice it is. So we're going to have dinner together tonight. Well, we're not going to have the same dinner, but we're going to eat at the same time. That'll be fun. Sometimes we do that with the other couple, the director, camp directors. We are the assistant camp directors. It's very nice to just sit here by the water, isn't it? Feel the breeze. See if any animals come by. So that day I thought it was beavers that came down to that bridge, that 3-hour video we did there. And it wasn't at all. It was otters. Unbelievable. So I have not seen a beaver in this pond. They've actually gone down below to the overflow, and they're damming that up. There's a culvert under the road, so they're damming that up. They made a nice, good dam, but I had 2 of the youths. They were so happy to have something to do. They came and said, "We want to serve. What can we do?" So we put them to work, and they took all that out of the culvert, and they stopped and they opened it up. Lots of sticks and everything were shoved up into the culvert. And then the next day, the beavers, and we put in a screen, like a tray from the oven. And the next day it was full. It was packed, and it's a nice dam against it. Other side, not a drop of water is coming out. And so I realized they said it was a daily job to undo it. Well, I don't think that we should undo it every day, because the beavers are just going to redo it every day. I think the only time we need to undo it is when, after it rains and it's high and we're in danger of it flooding, and then we undo it. Get rid of the water, and they'll start again, but this time they'll just make a small dam, and nothing will dam it up, and nothing will fill it up until we get another rain. So I'm not going to undo it until it rains. I think that's a good idea. Even though it'll be a little higher to work through, you know, the water will be a little deeper above the height of the culvert. But I think that would be better than doing it every single day, because, you know, beavers, they'll take trees down. If you take all their dam apart, they'll take trees down and build it back up. And do you really want them to take more trees down? You know, they haven't been taking down too many trees in here lately, I think. In the summer, they have a lot of foliage to eat. They eat the roots of the cattails, and there's a lot of foliage around the edge of the water here. I get to see this beautiful view, but you guys are just looking at me. I think there's some turtles out there on some of those logs. Hearing the frogs now too. So those otters went into the cattails here. I wonder if they went through the cattails and into the water body on the other side. There is water on the other side. That little bridge that we made across, that was a good bridge. There's all the boards that we needed were over there by the first bridge, which was also made by Service Corps a few years ago. Anyway, well, it's been nice chatting with you. And I guess I'll drop in again. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. You can do this